FuMPRadio.org, it's the Funny Music Podcast, brought to you by FuMP.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
Hey, Devo Spice.
Hey, Luke Ski.
We have Brian Woodbury on the show this week. Yay!
Hey, Brian.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome to episode 539 of the Funny Music Podcast, The Feast of Black Solitaire. I don't know what that means, but I'm going with it. So, yes, and today's date, I forgot that I don't have my script up, is October 15th. That's right, I got paid today. Yay. All right. So let's do this thing.
Let's get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke bailed and didn't show up.
Hey, what?
No, he's right.
First of all, Wildcard confirms we have sound on Twitch, so everything's working. Yeah, all right. So, Luke, what you been up to?
Well, sleeping and not sleeping, alternatively. After we did the FuMPCast last week, I participated in the Sequestered Thespians little performance of Muppet Princess Bride, where we took the script from the movie Princess Bride and we reenacted it with Muppets, and I got to play the character Vizzini, who is, normally Wallace Shawn, of Inconceivable, fame, except this time it was Pepe the King Prawn as Vizzini.
Nice.
And once we got started, we didn't get to, Gonzo was Inigo Montoya, which is another choice I liked. But the person who was performing that part, once we kind of got into it a little bit, I think we got to the point where Wesley is climbing the wall, or climbing up the cliff side. When the person performing Gonzo kind of figured out that they really couldn't do a Gonzo voice at all, and it was just too hard. So it was like, does anyone else want to perform Gonzo? And I'm just kind of like, well, I don't want to be like a stage hog, so to speak. So I'll wait to see if anybody else wants to do it. And like nobody else was jumping up to volunteer, and they were like, well, Luke, I'm like, sure, yes, absolutely. So, which was fine because Vizzini was about to die like a couple scenes later anyway. So it's like, okay, cool. So I got to be both Vizzini and Inigo Montoya for it. It was a ton of fun. So I'm hoping they will post that on YouTube at some point so I can share that around.
Let's get Luke. He can play all the Muppets.
Pretty much, yeah. What else happened that is worth chatting about? Not too much. Like I said, I've been doing some more Satati storyboards, and I drove for ease and just trying to stay on top of all of that. I did make one of the kind of side projects, well, not side projects. It's more of a, me just kind of trying to plan for the future. Is I'm going to go through. I started this, but I need to continue it. Going through my notebook and other various, lists that I've made of all of the songs that I wanted to do to finish up my next album, just so I can make a list of them and then figure out like, okay, what are the absolute like must do songs that I want to do before putting out another album, and then contemplating, what I need to do to make those things a reality, which basically involves finding people to make the backing tracks, and then probably doing a fundraising campaign to raise the money to pay for getting those backing tracks made. So yeah. So the notion of making more music, it has been on my mind lately. It just can't be a top priority until after I find another full-time studio job thing. So So that's me. What have you been up to, Devo?
Believe it or not, I actually did some drawing this past week. I haven't done actually real drawing in a long time, but one of my customers for my CD duplication thing actually wants me to draw his the cover art, and it's a video of him performing a song about, it's an educational song about the difference between alligators and crocodiles. And he saw my artwork and decided he liked the pointillism pen and ink stuff that I had done, and which I haven't done in years. But so much so that I don't know where my pens are, so I had to buy a new pen. But I did the pencil outlines. So here is the alligator, and then here is the crocodile, and so I need to ink those in once he approves them. He had like a residency at a I don't know if it was a wildlife refuge or a gator farm or something like that. But he had like an artist residency at this place, and he performed there on a regular basis, and he wants to make these DVDs of videos of him performing there. So like he wanted to show these drawings to the experts there to make sure that I had all the anatomy correct before he put it on his album cover. So I'm not inking these until he tells me they're correct and everything is good. So what else did I do? I interviewed MC Lars for this show, which you'll hear later in the show. And Lars and I have been trying to get me on his show for the longest time, and just scheduling and things, it just never worked out. And Lars was like, hey, after we do the interview for the FuMPCast, why don't we just do the interview for my show? And I was like, sure, that makes perfect sense. So we did that. So I think we actually did his interview first, the interview for his show first, and then we did the FuMPCast interview. So I don't know when that's going to be posted, but as soon as it is, I'll send out an email to all my mailing list people, and we'll get that posted. So people can listen to it. It was a really, really fun interview. I really enjoyed talking to Lars. He's a good dude. And then this morning, I don't know if anybody else would be interested in this, but I took my little streaming setup and brought it to the local YMCA where my son is on the swim team, because there's a swim meet on Saturday, and they're not letting any of the parents in to watch. So I thought I might be able to stream it, so that the parents can watch. So I spoke to the coach, and they let me into the building this morning to set up and do a test to see if we can stream it. It turns out I can. So I did some testing this morning, and so it looks like it's going to work. So Saturday and Sunday, I think I'll be at the YMCA streaming all weekends of swim meets with my son's teams. So if anyone wants to watch that, it'll be twitch.tv/SCY Swordfish, SCY for the Sussex County YMCA, and then Swordfish is the name of the team. So SCY Swordfish. And I have no idea when Darren is swimming. I don't have the schedule of events or anything yet, but
They're swimming in the stream.
So Brian, what have you been up to?
I'm making 4 albums this year, or over about a year. So I'm basically just working nonstop on making albums.
4 albums?
That's basically all yeah, because I did this. The one that the song we're gonna play is from, which is like the comedy one, and then I made one that was like a personal one, and then I'm right now finishing up one that's like political, and then the next one is kind of experimental avant-garde. So I'm putting out like 4 kind of this. Eventually it'll be a box set, but I'm kind of releasing them as they
Yeah, now that you mention it, I seem to remember we talked about this when you were on before, that you were in the middle of this process.
Yeah, so
okay.
That's all I do. I have no personality except for just sitting there making up songs. But I did actually have one interesting experience today. I had to go to the dentist, which I've been kind of avoiding dentists because COVID. And but on the freeway this morning, the freeways are much nicer in LA now that everyone's at home. But there was a little bit of traffic, and there was this porta potty being transported on the back of a trailer, and there was toilet paper streaming out from the door wasn't open, but there was like this big stream of toilet paper coming out, and it was just so comical. And then later on, I saw a couple of cars that one of them that had the toilet paper like stuck to their mirror or the top of their car, and there was like this, it was just like like a person with the toilet paper on the on their shoe, except
Yeah.
for it was this car driving down the freeway. Unbeknownst to them, they've got like 20 feet of toilet paper just streaming behind them. It was just, it was so glorious. It was just,
That's
seemed
fantastic.
like a song, right? Already,
I was waiting for you to say that there was a guy in the porta potty on the back of the truck, just like.
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
All right, so tell us about this song that you posted. Give us a quick intro. We'll give it a listen.
Okay, this song is called "My Bad." It was written by myself and Amy Engelhart, and it's about a guy who is a compulsive apologizer.
All right, here is "My Bad" by Brian Woodbury.
I'm sorry, I said sorry right when you were in my way. I know I should have thought of something more polite to say. I wanted to alert you that you ought to move your arm. I didn't want to injure it to pull the fire alarm. I know it's no excuse, but it's the only one I had. My bad. I'm sorry, I said sorry when you trampled on my toe. The fire escape was crowded, there was nowhere else to go. Your cleats had pierced my Birkenstocks, I didn't want to shout. I wasn't even thinking when I'm sorry just came out. I think I thought that you might somehow think that I was mad. My bad, my bad, my bad. My bad, my bad, my bad. My bad, my bad, my bad. My bad, my bad, my bad, my bad. I'm sorry, I said sorry when we both were trying to speak. I'm sorry if you thought that it was meant as a critique. We both saw someone up there as the roof began to burn. I told the first responder, but I didn't wait my turn. I'm sure there were important details you had meant to add. My bad, my bad, my bad. My bad, my bad, my bad. My bad, my bad, my bad. My bad, my bad, my bad, my bad. Why must I take the blame? It's not that fun to do. But like my mother says, and my father says, and my wife says, sorry, my ex-wife says, and my girlfriend says, and her boyfriend says, and my therapist says, my chiropractor says, why is everything your fault? So I know it must be true. I said sorry at my witness interview. In hindsight, maybe that was not the wisest thing to do. I gave my testimony, the detective thought I lied. He asked why I was sorry if I had no crime to hide. And now I'm in for arson, though my alibi was ironclad. My bad, my bad, my bad. My bad, my bad, my bad. My bad, my bad, my bad. My bad, my bad, my bad, my bad. My bad, my bad, my bad. Sorry, my bad, my bad, my bad. Sorry, my bad, my bad, my bad, my bad, my bad, my bad, my bad. 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 My bad, my bad, my bad, my bad.
I love the ending of that song. You really do some interesting stuff there.
Oh, thank you.
So how do you know Amy Engelhart?
How do I know Amy? I probably met her about 10 years ago, just in the songwriting circles in LA. Yeah, we have a lot of mutual friends. It's a the kind of songs that we do is there's kind of a small community
Yeah.
for that in here, in this town.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I suppose that's true anywhere you
Yeah, I think
do
it's
the
true
same type of
everywhere.
music, and you're bound to run into people who do something similar.
Yeah. Well, also Amy knows everybody. She knows
This is true.
She knows people who I went to high school with. She knows people when I lived in New York. She knows all the people I knew in New York. So she's one of these sponges. She just kind of meets everybody and knows everybody.
Excellent. So how did this song come about?
How did it come about? It's a little bit autobiographical in that I'm very quick to apologize and just to say I'm sorry, just sort of as a verbal tick.
Mm-hmm.
I got into trouble once in New York saying I'm sorry to this guy who bumped into me really rudely, and he thought I was being sarcastic, and I had to be rescued by like the security guard at a jewelry store who was nearby, because he was like threatening me for like 5 minutes. He was a big, towering, muscular guy.
I've done that too, just like out of force of habit. Like somebody bumps into me and I say excuse me, just like I don't even know why, it just happens.
Yeah, so it's it can be taken too far. So I just thought, here's a song where it gets taken too far. And I had the concept and I brought it to Amy and we kind of developed it together, wrote some of the music together and so forth and so on. It seemed like it needed an accordion, so we put an accordion on it.
It did need an accordion. Is that Amy singing in the background?
That is.
Okay. Thought I heard her. Wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely relate to this because I'm very much one of those people that, over apologizes and, apologizes for things that have that have nothing to do with me, that I couldn't have possibly been in any way responsible for. It's just, I think part of it is what you're really meaning to say is that you're sorry that this is happening to the person, in the hopes that you saying that will make it in any slight way better.
Mm-hmm.
Luke, you can do a parody of this song called "Are You Mad at Me?"
Yeah. Well, I mean, I already kind of covered that in the song Neurotica.
Yeah,
so
I'm just teasing you.
Neurotica, yeah.
Yeah, so this is a really fun song. I really like what you did here.
Oh, thank you so much.
So how's the multiple album project coming along?
It's good. I discovered that it's really hard to promote one album while you're in the middle of making another one. So I guess it should have been obvious, but
well, I mean, it wouldn't be obvious to me because for me, it's just really hard to promote an album. Period. I have no idea what I'm doing.
That's true. And normally I make videos for all my songs, or for most of my songs. So I have about 9 videos started, but I've given myself these deadlines. So I'm like, I haven't, they're like 90% done, but I'm focusing now on trying to finish the current one before I get back to those. So it's an arbitrary, I've set a trap for myself, and then I've fallen right into it. So, but other than, I mean, it's great. I mean, it's very therapeutic, and it's a really good distraction for this year, because this year is such a shit show, and I don't have to think about it as much as I would if I wasn't so busy making this.
Yeah, we all need these types of distractions.
Yeah, it's healthy. So,
in fact, I was thinking while I was being interviewed by MC Lars for his podcast that, like, during the interview was like I felt like my old self, like everything was okay again, and then the interview ended, and reality came crashing down around me, as it does.
Yeah.
So this song is going on the comedy album. What's the name of that one again?
That album is Levity and Novelty.
Levity and Novelty. That's right. So is that out now?
That's the first one that came out. That's what we're
okay.
That's the first stuff that I sent to FuMP. So
okay, that's right.
So the previous tune that was on here.
So are you hoping to get the rest of them out by the end of the year?
It's not going to happen. I was really shooting to do it all within 1 year, and then I've sort of expanded. Well, maybe I'll try to do it within one 365-day period, and then
just 365 days over the course of 10 years or something.
Maybe that's what I'll do. No, I think the last one will be this one. Number 3 will come out this year, and number 4 will come out the first part of next year.
Okay.
So.
Okay, cool. So what else is going on with you?
What else is going on with me?
4 albums isn't enough, I guess.
My toilet paper story.
Yeah.
No. I'm going to Yosemite. That's
Oh.
2020 is not the year to be going to Yosemite, I would think.
No, it isn't. But I like to go there every year.
Okay.
So my wife and I always go, and it's just, we'll see. I mean, it might be smoky and it might be dark and cold.
Because I'm pretty sure the Yosemite eruption is on somebody's 2020 bingo cards.
Yeah.
So cool. So do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Plug. I think I already have done so. I plugged my foot in my mouth as well. So now, you can go to my website, and it's all plug all the time. BrianWoodbury.com.
All right, cool. So thank you for joining us. We're going to move on.
Thank you for having me.
News and whatnot, and we'll catch you next time.
All right, wonderful. Take care.
Take care.
It's horrifying. It's nauseating. It's monstrous. It's back. The horror that is the Wackiness on the Rise Halloween Scare-a-thon is back for a second year with another full month of some of the most spookiest funny songs and parodies. What's even scarier is that it's 5 shows. 5 episodes of Halloween music from vampires, werewolves, zombies, ghosts, and the coronavirus? Okay, that's too much, so let's forget about that. 5 one-hour episodes of scary laughs. In total, 5 hours of horror. 5 times the scares, 5 times the laughs. And we'll be scaring the web all the way until the day before Halloween. Join us on Friday, October 2nd to Friday, October 30th for the 2nd annual Wackiness on the Rise Halloween Scare-a-thon on madmusic.com and archive.org. Unless, of course, you're scared.
Time for funny music news. Something.
In the news, Weird Al Yankovic has made a guest appearance on a song by Portugal the Man called Who's Gonna Stop Me? Now, this is not a comedy song. This is a song about Indigenous people, released on October 11th, which was Indigenous Peoples Day or Columbus Day, depending on your political leanings. They say in their description, to us, Weird Al Yankovic has always been a figure of playful boundary breaking. His work makes us take less seriously the things that we take so seriously, like what's cool or what's trendy. Weird Al Yankovic has been an inspiration for Portugal the Man since their inception until now. In the tradition of indigenous cultures of the Western North American territories, the coyote represents the trickster and the maker of new worlds. And the video has Weird Al as the coyote trickster, so it's pretty cool. All right. FuMPCast Hotel. Remember I said they were going to roll over your reservations from 2020 to 2021?
Yep.
Not so much, turns out. Yeah, not really. They claim that because they had so many cancellations and so many postponements and whatnot that their software couldn't handle it. I'm calling BS on that, but whatever. Regardless, the reservation, if you made a reservation for 2020, it was canceled entirely, and you will need to make a new reservation for 2021. If you are staying for only Friday and or Saturday, you can use the link on the website. If you are staying for either Thursday and or Sunday nights as well, you will need to call the hotel's group reservation line at 847-777-6556. That's 847-777-6556, and make your reservation over the phone. Because for some reason, the web link won't let you add Thursday and Sunday to it. So nothing I can do about that. All right. Matt Griffo has a new album out called Songs for Monsters. This is a Halloween compilation album that is available at mattgriffo.bandcamp.com. And I really can't tell you much more about it because I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet. I just found out about it this afternoon. So, but check it out. It looks pretty cool. All right, you got anything before tour dates?
This isn't exactly this may or may not be county music related, but it was worth pointing out that they finally put up a official clip of the forthcoming Animaniacs rebirth.
Oh my God, that is so good. The Jurassic Park thing.
It's like all the people who have been like, you know, doing the usual lamenting of like, oh no, they're bringing back a thing, they're gonna ruin it. I've just been sitting here going like, I've seen some stuff. Y'all are wrong.
Oh my God, that Jurassic Park thing is so good. Like, not only just like the animation is awesome, the writing is awesome. The Hulu guy saying we're gonna be rich, it just killed me. I mean, it was so good.
The one thing I'm curious about is that actually Steven Spielberg voicing Steven Spielberg, which it might not be, but I know that he did do that like on Tiny Toons and stuff. He did show up occasionally.
Yeah, I don't know if that's him. I don't know what his voice sounds like. But yeah, I saw that clip and I watched it. I was so happy.
The other thing that's kind of like, I just want to commentate on it somewhere while it's still relevant to some degree. Relevant in the fact that I knew about this for a while, and now that Disney Plus finally made this announcement, people are like acting like it's some kind of weird betrayal or it's going to be a train wreck. Okay, for years, the Lego company has teamed up with Star Wars, and they've made all these adorable little Star Wars Lego animated, you know, little CG cartoons. Not like the Lego movies, but just a separate thing. It's like little Lego Star Wars. They've done a whole series of them with every set of characters from every, you know, all three of the trilogies, etc. So them doing goofy little fun, you know, silly Star Wars things has been around, you know, probably about at least a decade. So now they're doing the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special.
Yes, I saw
and
that.
when they say that, they are going to be specifically tying it into, you know, things that are from that, you know, infamous holiday special. And some people are acting like, oh my God, they're bringing it back. And it's like, it's the Lego Star Wars holiday special. Calm the hell down. I mean, they've already done other stuff. Like on the first episode of The Mandalorian, the one alien dude, you know, specifically mentions Life Day. So it's like they've already said some of the stuff that was in that is now part of the overall canon of Star Wars. It's like, so they're gonna have another fun, goofy Christmas thing in the Lego animated for kids faction of Star Wars. Calm the hell down. Just calm down. Don't act like it's like the end of the universe because it's part of a show you weren't even watching.
Well, you know, the Star Wars Holiday Special was such a big part of my childhood that I think that Lego doing it just ruins everything, and it will destroy my childhood if Lego does this, and they don't do a good job with it, you see. That's...
Just calm the hell down, people. Oh, I should have said this before in the what Luke's been up to since last week. Carrie and I have actually recorded a couple of segments for Bad Rapport, so we hopefully will have a new one out before Halloween. We've just got to do like maybe 1 to 2 more segments tops, and then I'll start putting something together. So there you go.
Yep. Okay. Tour dates. Every Friday on YouTube, Escape from the Secret Lab. Also on YouTube, Carla Ulbrich. Every day through October pretty much is Steve Goody. And on the 17th, coming up on Twitch, is Mikey Mason. 17th being Saturday. And happy birthday today to Katie Frame of the Reformed Whores. Happy birthday, Katie. All right, here is our second song of the week, followed by an interview with MC Lars. Here is WAP, W-A-P, Wet Ass Poopies by MC Lars.
I said diapers ain't cheap. Spent a couple G's. Wet ass poopies make that pull-up game weak. Woo! Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I'm cleaning up some wet ass poopies. Bring some Pampers and 10 wipes for these wet ass poopies. Got this diaper genie stuffed with these wet ass poopies. Push it out, Target extra large. Not a fart, this butt discharge. Pushing poopies all day and night. At 95, working twice as hard. Pop on pop, I wanna read. A clean shirt is what I need. Smile on his face, relief in his eyes. Diaper leaking down juicy thighs. Take a look, I'm surprised. When you eat corn, no reply. I wanna take a car ride, no luck. He pooed before we left the garage. Chocolate cream makes me scream. Onesie slick with a shiny sheen. Baby, look, I keep you clean. Let me re-up on this A&D.
Probably gotta pee, it's dripping onto me. Quick towel down before you let the poopies onto me. Feet them on a cushion, never know what I'm about to see. It runs down sticky and it's almost getting on my knee. Help me quick, flip that lid. Ask for a mask while I wipe so slick. Gotta give props for the dank methane. Watch you kick around just like Liu Kang. Messy boots, dirty coat from these wet ass poopies. I drop my phone in the diaper full of wet ass poopies. Up in the kitchen, he's so wiggly with these wet ass poopies. Chocolate rain down the drain, see some wet ass poopies.
Look, I need a bag thicker, I need a can closer. He a messy stinker, I be a free thrower, not a tiny squirt. It's a king cobra, get a hazmat for this supernova. Spending mad money, gas is unleaded, diapers in tons, bottom on credit. Leaking I feared, sleep sack is wetted. Love Jackson Pollock, check this aesthetic. Bottles he sips, I mean he gulps. Homie, slow down, you don't wanna choke. When you push out your bowel movements, dang, look down and see that you're soaked. I'm honestly tired, mommy's Dasani, food going in dry and coming out soggy. My washing machine, I'm using it nightly, spits up his milk and now he trying to bite me.
Your Honor, he's a sweet kid, but have you seen this dirty crib? Cause it's been quite a weekend. Leaking to his knees, cause I better start cleaning. Call CDC, talks of weights on the ceiling. Tell me, baby, what they feed you? If you got a rash on the bottom, cleaner. Big dukes, they blast like speakers. Fast like Rush or a Tech 9 feature. Like a boomerang, it's back again. You can't hurt my feelings, I'm just saying. If you walk in and ask who did it, diaper slick, I won't smell the same.
Yeah, 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 I'm scrubbing up some wet ass poopies. Bring a bucket and a mop for these wet ass poopies. Bring me Clorox and don't stop for these wet ass poopies. Craps a lot, never stops, that's some wet ass poopies. How many nuggets gonna drop? That's some wet ass poopies. He's going wop, 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 that's some wet ass poopies. It's unholy, grab a cross for these wet ass poopies. Huh?
I'm here with MC Lars. Welcome back to the show. How you doing, man?
Tom Rockwell, we recently had you on my podcast, and I'm grateful to be talking to you because you've done a lot for the community. You've always been very supportive and kind to me, and I appreciate you having me on. Hello.
Oh, thank you, man. Well, welcome back. And it's been a little while since we've heard from you, but I love that you sent us this song. So is this your first parody?
That's a good question. I did Cardi. It's like I've done a few. I did Cardi B's Money and made it Honey about bees, and I've done a few, but this is like I think the one I'm most proud of for sure.
Okay.
I think I put the most time into. And then I didn't realize you did the same song. Whoops.
No, that's totally cool. That's not the first time this has happened on the FuMP. In fact, when I was working on my parody of Thrift Shop by Macklemore, like a couple of weeks before I was going to finish my song, Ian posted his parody of Thrift Shop, and I was like, "Hey, can I have your instrumental for my song?"
What was his?
I've never played Final Fantasy VII was his, and mine was Snack Bar.
That's what's up. I really liked your Old Town Road parody. I know we're not talking about that, but I think it's cool how you make all these modern parodies, man.
Thank you. Yeah.
Good work.
Parodies are fun. I love them. I was very happy to hear this one because this is a song I can relate to as a parent. So you are a new parent. Welcome to parenthood. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You get to be the expert at dealing with all the various bodily secretions that come out of every possible hole.
Well, we were listening to the song in the car, Cardi B's song, and my wife and I were like cleaning his poo, and we've been singing it like the original. And then I just said, "Hey, I'm going to clean up these wet ass poopies." Ha ha ha. And then we're like, "Yo,
that's usually how it happens. That's usually how the best parody ideas happen is you make a joke about it and you're like, you know what, that'll work. You know?
But most people don't get, I think most people who aren't like FuMP artists or like crazy like us don't get past that first stage of, they're just like, "Oh, that's funny. Ha ha ha." It takes a certain kind of craziness to be like, let's do this. Or like you to create a whole platform for dozens of other people. It's beautiful.
If you're not one of these crazy creative types who take things to their illogical extreme, then it's just, goofing around with your friends. But, us, it's like, my thought process was, if I keep it wet ass pussy and just change it to be about a cat, I've got a song. And I went from there.
It's literal. What's your favorite? I don't mean to hijack the interview, but what's your favorite Insane Ian parody? Because I want to tell you mine.
Oh, I've always loved Guitar Hero. There was, but the one I think I like the most is actually, it's not a full parody. It's just part of a medley. It's the one about Mario. Oh crap, I can't remember what it's called.
Is it Babam? No.
No, it's what doesn't kill you makes you smaller. That's it.
Oh yeah. That's good. My favorite is the he's a real Iron Man, like that Avengers. I mean, that whole EP is awesome.
That whole album is very impressive. It's very cool.
And that's the kind where you play it for people and they're like, oh, this is good. This is funny. You know, people who aren't, because I think, I don't know. It's always like certain songs will get non-parody fans into them. Certain songs will alienate people. And that's like a song that people get into. I'm just saying. Keep it moving.
Cool. So who did the music for you on this song?
There's this guy named Dices who I don't know him in real life. He's just someone I work with on the internet, and I pay him to rebuild the tracks. So I paid him to do this. And then my friend Brad did the mix. He produced the Dewey Decibel album with Mega Ran, and he recreated the sample. Dirty drawers in this house, dirty drawer. So it's a combination. Dices is really good with remaking beats. How about you?
I did it myself. I downloaded a couple of libraries of trap drum sounds and was able to do it myself. Yours sounds remarkably like the original. Mine is a little bit, you can tell there's a difference, but yours sounds remarkably like the original song.
Oh, thank you, Tom. Well, you went a new direction. I appreciate you saying that, but you went a new direction because you have the Schaefer sample, which Schaefer sent you the stem for. So yours is more of like a creative new version of it, right? Like,
yeah.
That's the main thing. You have to have that hook, that weird hook.
Yeah. So anyway. that was fun. So
wait, can I ask you one more question and I'll stop interrupting you?
No, feel free.
Who produced the music for your Old Town Road parody?
I did that too.
You're talented, man.
Yeah, sometimes.
No big deal. Good work. That's what's up.
So, I forgot what I was going to ask you now.
I'll ask you more questions.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you do this show, the FuMP show, every week? Or
Thursday night.
Wow. And you do it remote. So like this one, we're not technically doing it live.
Live. So I'm going to be playing this video in the middle of the live show with me, Luke, and whoever else is on.
And you do it over Zoom?
Yeah.
Because I remember once I called in, like just on the phone, but were you doing it on Zoom for that?
We might have been doing it on Skype at that point.
Okay.
I had to stop using Skype for technical reasons a couple of years ago.
Nerd problems.
I remembered what I was going to ask you.
Oh yeah.
How's fatherhood treating you?
That's a sweet question. The pandemic sucks, right? But the thing is, I wouldn't want to be on tour now anyway, and it's nice being home. And he's a little baby. He's finally sleeping. I found like once he started sleeping, life got really like a lot easier when we actually were sleeping too. So it's cool. I think the timing of it's crazy because like we're sequestered inside with a baby, right? But the whole world is sequestered inside. So honestly, it's might not feel like there's a pandemic, other than the fact that hundreds of thousands of people are dying. Yeah. It feels it's like the timing of this is really cool, and our son is. Yeah, I love being a dad. I didn't realize how much I would love it, and so far so good. Thank you for asking.
I'm not surprised you love being a dad. You seem like the type who would just take to this. And
oh, thank you. What was it easier for when you had your third kid, or was it like did it get harder?
No, each kid is really different. I mean, the first one slept through the night pretty much from the first day home from the hospital.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the second kid had some bad acid reflux, so he didn't sleep hardly at all, and that was rough.
That was probably a big surprise.
Yeah, and then the third one was kind of a mix of the two. He had his moments.
So you have 3 sons?
Yes.
Wow, and what is their age differences?
16 will be 15 in a week and a half, and then just turned 13.
Okay, so they're all kind of similar. Close. That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's cool. Do they listen to the FuMP stuff, or this kind of like, oh, Dad, that's your stuff?
Yeah, not generally.
Right.
I've played some of the of like Weird Al Yankovic and some of the Dr. Demento stuff for them, and they're just not into it. They don't care in the least.
Even Weird Al.
Yeah, I mean, we listened to Weird Al while I was driving to Vermont and back to visit my sister the year before, and like it was timed perfectly because we got exactly halfway through his discography as I pulled into her driveway, and then we listened to the other half on the way home.
Right.
I don't think they paid attention. They had their earphones on. They were on their devices. And
did that hurt your feelings?
No, not at all, because I wanted to listen to it. I don't care what they did.
But I think probably a lot of it is like what your sons were all born after the majority of the songs Weird Al parodied were out, and probably like they probably aren't aware of most of the songs.
They know some of them because they're on Rock Band. Like the original songs are on Rock Band.
Okay.
And they've played a lot of Rock Band. So like we'll hear some of those and they'll be like, okay, yeah, Al parodied this song. And they just kind of like roll their eyes when they hear a parody. They don't even try to enjoy it.
Have you ever taken them to see him?
No.
That might sell it, right?
Maybe, yeah. I have to see if they'd be interested in that. The last time he came around, I was planning to go and I just wasn't able to. I don't remember why.
Was it probably, yeah.
It was the Strings Attached tour, I believe.
Yeah, I heard that. I didn't see that one. I saw the Vanity tour. But,
yeah, I missed that one too. I wanted to see that one.
Oh boy, that's funny, man. To be like, you ever see that? There's that meme. It's like the dude from Slayer's doing metal, and his daughter's like, and it's like exactly. you could be in Slayer, and your daughter still thinks you're uncool. So,
yep. Exactly.
I think about that. Yeah.
So don't expect your kid to think your music is cool when he grows up.
Right. Or even to like music. Right. He might, and that's fine. But yeah, that's interesting, man. But anyway, cool. Dad talk.
Messiest cleanup.
Well, you know how sometimes like if you're holding the baby a certain way, you don't know that they have taken a dump. It can get to the front.
Oh yeah.
And get all up in the folds and up. Like sometimes like that happens that it gets all up in the belly button and stuff. And like you're like, well, we were definitely playing for longer than we should have. And he started to eat solids like a few weeks ago, so that makes it a little more chunky and smelly. But then there's the kind where like he used to be in his crib, and then he'd do his stuff. And I used to sleep in the other room. I'd hear it, and it would leak through his onesie onto the sheets. And that was like when the diaper's not on right, you learn quickly. Okay, you maybe should make it like I used to be like, okay, I want to be able to get 2 fingers in once I've done it. But now you're like, no, 1 is good. I get 1 finger and it's not too tight and it's not going to leak out. So the diaper stuff writing the song was fun because it was all stuff I was learning while we were doing it. Anyway.
Yep, I've been through all of that.
Do your kids all have similar messiness, or was there one son who had more explosive
it was
flavor?
all the same. The messiest cleanups I had to do were the vomit cleanups. That went everywhere. Those were impressive. Some of those,
like the milk, or was it like food too?
No, just full blown vomit type stuff. And like the one I remember most was I walked in. The kid was crying, which was unusual in the middle of the night. So I walked in very quietly, turned on the light. I didn't turn on the light, and I just walked over and I was like, "Oh, what's the matter?" And I picked him up and held him close, and I realized I was wet. And I was like, I shouldn't be wet in this situation. Why am I wet? So I go over and turn on the light, and there's vomit all down the front of the kid. And I look over at the crib, and it's just the entire mattress is covered, and it's dripping onto the floor. And I was like, so I went and woke up my wife, and I was like, get a bath going. There's no other way to deal with this.
Yeah,
we threw the kid in the bath. And then I went and cleaned up the room and got all new sheets and did the laundry. That was fun.
Yeah, it's funny how being a parent, like, things can become super complicated super quickly, and you just have to be ready for it. Like that you weren't expecting. You're just like, okay. And I mean, I'm sure
it also desensitizes you very quickly to all of this stuff.
It's not gross. Poop
it's
and
not
barf
gross anymore. Yeah. So it's like, I'm sure there's people listening to this right now going, God damn, I'm glad I never had kids. I'm like, it's not a big deal anymore, really.
No, as long as they're okay, right? Like, I'm sure that you felt happy that you were able to comfort him. Today I was holding our son and whatever, and he just, all his milk, he just spit it all down my pants. I'd just taken a shower. I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm not wearing these clothes today. Okay.
And
You
that's
gotta-
a little spit up. That's not a big deal, you know.
Yeah, a little.
This was
maybe-
projectile vomit of
Oh
you know,
God.
biblical proportions.
Keep it moving. It's crazy, but I'm proud of you, Tom, and I'm amazed at how we talked about this on my podcast, how you can balance fatherhood with running this platform and your own prolificness, and how you do so much for people in the scene, and you've always been a inspiring guy. So I appreciate you. Yeah, I appreciate you playing the song and talking to me.
Thank you. And you know, once the pandemic is over, you're going to learn how to do all that.
Hey, holler.
So is there anything you'd like to plug or anything else you wanted to talk about?
You're a sweet man. I'm on Patreon, patreon.com/MCLars. I'm doing songs about all the movies in the Star Wars universe, and I'm including all the TV shows and video games. I'm even doing the holiday special in chronological order. Yep, doing the holiday special. I haven't written that song yet. I just did my Attack of the Clones song. So if you want to hear Star Wars raps, and I did songs about all the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies in chronological order. So that was that was a big project, and that's all on there on Patreon. So yeah, check it out if you want or not. But it's there, and I appreciate you being a sweetheart. And shout out to Luke. Hi, Luke. I'm not talking to you, but I love you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck with the kid and the poopies and all of that. And we'll catch you next time.
I'm glad we're friends.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio.
www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback. 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 You know that segment of the show we do about now? Feedback. Feedback. Feedback.
Feedback. Number 11 wrote, "Fake math nonsense." Yay. Then that's all the feedback we got for this week. So
teasing. He's a teasing kind of guy. Now you have a job.
Yeah. Teasing. Tomorrow's song is by Lemon Demon. And we are supposed to have a bonus Sunday FuMP coming up this weekend. It's not posted yet, so may or may not happen. And Tuesday's song is not yet posted. And this week's Spotify playlist is Marvel. Lars talking about all the Marvel movies, things he did. I figured I'd play the songs. So Marvel for this week. All right.
No, that's fine. Don't talk about me, Lars. That's okay. Just talk about what's your favorite Insane Ian song parody. Go ahead, yes.
Well, you and Ian have already been on his show.
Yeah. My favorite is probably, without giving it any deep analytical thought, my favorite is probably Hufflepuffs. And I'd say that out of, obviously, Ian just did a really great job matching a subject matter with the original song and just recreating it great, and just it's a great jam.
Yeah, that's probably in my top 10 as well of Ian songs. Now I want to make a top 10 of Ian songs just to see what's
Remember
there.
when I was doing that on LiveJournal?
I do. All right. So Brian Woodbury is at brianwoodbury.com. MC Lars is at mclars.com, and he has a Patreon. And that's it. That's the show. Unless you got anything else.
Nope, that's about it.
All right, let's get out of here. Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spice.
I'm Luke Ski.
And we have sound this week. How about that?
Sound.
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at dementiaradio.org, and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of Fidem Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, shout it to random people on the street, and be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say,
"They call me Orange Joe."